couple of folks here I'd love to talk to about this stuff. Center for American Progress President Neera Tanden and Americans for Tax Reform's Mattie Duppler. Neera, Mattie, good morning to you. Neera, I want to start with you and our friend Max Baucus. I'm going to play a quote from Senator Baucus, not running for re-election, who famously said it's going to be a train wreck. Here's what he said yesterday.
But months ago, I warned that if the implementation didn't improve, the marketplaces might struggle. We heard multiple times that everything was on track, and we now know that was not the case.
So, obviously, we know the White House is trying to do some political damage control, make those Senate Democrats feel a little bit better, give them an outlet to lecture the president. But yesterday, the more Senate Democratic heat that comes, the more pressure there's going to be to potentially delay. Is there not?
You know, I think that there are definitely people who are angry and frustrated. I think the majority of Senate Democrats totally recognize that we've come this far, that undoing it now would be counterproductive to do any major significant efforts that would actually undermine the law.
Why would it be counterproductive? I mean, if it's not
because you've already taken the heat for several elections, you voted for it. I think the issue is what you're talking about. I mean, if there are moderate fixes to actually make sure that people enroll, that's great. If it's things to undo the individual mandate, et cetera, that would actually unhinge the law, then that can be counterproductive. So I think, look, people, you know, it's not a political issue, it's a policy issue. People worked to pass this law because they wanted people to get covered. It's frustrating that people who want to have coverage can't get coverage. I think we think about these things in a political realm, and they're really a policy realm, and I think that's how we should think about this. Everyone should be for fixes that improve it, make it easier for people to sign up. People shouldn't be trying to undo the law.
And Mattie, this seems to be, if there is a split inside among Senate Republicans, it is, and I think there are some that say, well, we got to fix this thing. It's a mess. It's sort of the Lamar Alexander wing. Right. And then you have others who see a political opportunity here, and they sometimes look opportunistic.
But I don't think it's political, as Neera is saying. You know, the road to hell paved with best intentions. Everyone does want this bill to work. Democrats want the bill to work.
I was just saying, you don't believe all Republicans do you?
But Republicans actually, it's not a political issue to say they don't want people to have coverage, and you keep talking about undoing the law. It's not undoing the law to treat American families the same way the president has treated big business by saying that the employer mandate's delayed. Why wouldn't you delay the individual mandate that is creating so much angst for these people that are going to be subject to this mandate tax because they can't get the coverage that they need through the website, which enrolled 6 people on its first day?
So I think the issue here is that hundreds of thousands of people have signed up in the country in the state exchanges. So if you delay the individual mandate, you will jack up their prices. People are already experiencing laws. The prices, the premiums they've been offered are based on the individual mandate itself being in the law. That's what the
insurers offered. Well, the premiums before, though, too, were also based on the employer mandate being in the law.
No, that's not true. That's not actually accurate. Well, it's actually based on the individual mandate itself. It's not the individual. So these are important substantive matters that should be devoted. We should address them in a policy matter. I'd say at the end of the day, what the big challenge here is that Republicans have always been out to kill the law. If there was a good faith effort to discuss ways to improve the law, I think that would be an interesting discussion and debate to have. But that has been the challenge throughout this process, which is the #1 effort Republicans have made. I mean, are we on the 40th or 50th?
Well, and Mattie, this plays out in the polls, right? When you ask the way we ask the question, right? When you ask the different ways you ask this question, full repeal, major overhaul, minor overhaul, do nothing. And when you look at it, you know, if you want repeal, then you combine major overhaul and repeal and claim, hey, 50% want to see radical changes to the health care law. But if you look at it as opposed to major overhaul and minor overhaul, there's a majority that say, please just fix this law. But there seems to not be a majority that says to repeal it. So do Republicans have to find a way to get into the we want to fix it mode?
Right, and I think that in the past couple of weeks, you know, government shutdown dominated that discussion where people were talking about repeal. Republicans aren't talking about repeal any longer. They're talking about what this law is actually going to do. And you see this with Secretary Sebelius yesterday. You've got senators questioning her about how we're going to fix this, how folks who don't have insurance coming January 1 are going to get it if they can't even sign up for it. And her response is, oh, we'll fix the website. That, as you're talking about, Neera, as a policy question, doesn't address that.
But let's go to the, I mean, I think we all, if they don't fix by November 30th, they're a larger problem.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
I think everybody seems to agree.
We would like it to be fixed
If it's not fixed by November 30th, they're a larger problem because you have the sign-up issues, January 1, all that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this about the president's credibility right now. How much of a hit has he taken over this I mean, it's a quote that's been everywhere. If you like your health care law, you can keep it. Now there are asterisks and footnotes that were not there.
Right.
And it, you know, they can explain it away. The fact of the matter is it looks pretty bad.
Yeah, so I think the challenge here the president has is that there are people getting these notices. They're not getting the right information absolutely right. They should be told there are other options, but they're getting these notices. And I think that the larger problem here is that without the website working, people aren't able to compare one thing to another. The vast majority of people would be better off. But I recognize it's a policy challenge.
How does he fix this?
I think the truth is people have to have the experience of this, and most people will, the vast majority of people will be better.
Basically, he's got to wait till the website's fixed.
And he's got to wait, and he's got to ensure that the law, the president, his whole reputation is on the law working in the long run, and it needs to work.
Well, one of the ways to fix it would have been able to have people look at these prices and actually shop online to prevent the rate shock that they needed to have.
The website would have been helpful to that.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, there's a
I can agree on that.
I was just going to say, Neera and Mattie, thank you very much. Up next in our data bank, the very latest on that still